Hello there gang, Devere here, just playing a little bit of Betrayer, so I thought I'd chuck together a video for the channel, and why not? Let's have a quick glance at our options. Get a few game settings here. You can set up how you sort of challenging you want the game to be. There's also a few settings here which we'll look at when we get in game. Controls are fully rebindable as they should be for a PC game. There's a few more of your video settings there. And finally a few audio settings. So what I'll do is I'll continue game. Because the first part is really only basically a tutorial and not overly interesting. So the first thing you'll be met with is this sort of black and white effect, which luckily we can change here. These are those other settings in game. That gives it a little bit more depth of colour. So it was when it launched, it only had the black and white effect, but that is very eye grinding. Yeah, it just tells you to be stealthy. So now that it's got some colour to it, it's actually quite a very good looking game. I mean, the idea is those chests and these enemies, which I was supposed to stealth and didn't. Oh, and he's got a pistol. So that's a very poor start. Luckily, arrows you can loot back if you've, or sometimes you can get some of them back after combat. So of course this game is set in ye oldie days, like, you know, sort of 1700 or something like that, 1650 or whenever it would be, sort of time of the. We are washed up on this island. We have quests to do, of which if we look at our map, all these little things need to be collected. Some are clues, story related, some are physical objects, which we shall see soon enough. So there's something here for us to find. Several amongst the council are wary of treating with the naturals. I think they meant to say trading there. But I believe I have convinced them of the necessity, but we cannot assume that Sir Christopher will outfit a supply fleet with sufficient urgency to ensure it reaches us from England before we have no more need of it. We will starve before spring without succour. Ooh, very spooky. This is Fort Henry. We haven't really got anywhere to fast travel to at the moment. Dear Sir, Madam, I hope the bow I gave you has been of reasonable service, but would encourage you to consider some of my final wares. I accept coin and barter as you see fit. So we don't really have a lot at the moment. Crew charm with vigour. Well, as we see, we don't have much. We don't have much cash at the moment. We haven't got much purchasing power. So these are a place to refill health. Then we get our water skin. You can also take a few charges of health out with you. Can't carry any more of that ammo type. The Indian king, whom they call a Wirrance, no idea what to pronounce him with that word, was much pleased by our gifts of tools and trinkets and gave us in return an abundance of corn and bear meat, which is an excellent victual. I'm sure it is. Though the figure appears human, it is only ash and ember. As we do have various things in our journal. But we shall worry about those later. Something appears to be buried here, but it's always too hard to dig with your bare hands. An ornate bell. It appears to be in good condition. It could probably be remounted from where it hung. The Lord Governor has determined that we cannot spare any men to send to Fort Henry, for we are harried constantly by the Naturals, and have recently grown more hostile towards us for unknown reasons. So there's a bit of exploring in this game, a bit of treasure hunting, a bit of stealth. Yeah, it tries to do a fair bit. Another ash figure. Ooh, and some more chests. Goodies to find. Crude charm of soldiery. What does that do? Reload muskets, pistols and crossbows 5% faster. I'll have that. It's a very, very light type RPG-ish elements. You wouldn't really call it a hardcore. Just, you know, these different trinkets you can get can help gear you up slightly better for combat and such like. Ooh, some arrows. Oh, there was clue ones, not actual physical arrows. You can drink from water skin to restore your health at any time. Be sure to refill it at open barrels. According to our prisoner, the Spaniards seek to destroy the settlements that might be used for privateering against their treasure fleets, and will surely come at us again. We need reinforcements if we are to repel further attacks. Yet another ash figure. What could these be? What indeed? Something was buried here, but it's always too hard to dig with my bare hands. I shall be doing no digging then. Ah, a trowel. A small trowel suits breaking up hard soil. Oh, something else to smash. Oh, no goodies in it. So first things first, let's get our bell in place. So now let's begin to ring the bell. So of course this is the other side of the game. It's the more esoterical other world, which we have things to find. We dig up what appears to be a human eyeball, though it feels more like a stone. It is strangely heavy and warm in your hands. It seems that you can see things you couldn't before. All very mysterious. Dig up a petrified ear. Like the eye you found, it is heavy and warm. It seems you can hear things that you couldn't before. I wonder what this could be. You dig up a petrified tongue. It's too heavy. It too is heavy and warm. It seems that you can now speak to those who couldn't hear you before. Something is buried here, but the soil is so rocky that it will take more than a trowel to dig it up. See, there's a lot of kind of upgrading of things within the game. Oh, let's go see what this chappie has to say that's of such great import. Where is Martha? Who is Martha? My wife. Who are you? I am Captain William Eastgrove. Where did you last see her? On the hillside we were sitting together. I was holding her hand, talking about our son. I shall find her for you if I can. And this is the lady in red. I was speaking to a Reverend William Eastgrove. Just try and skip through most of this. You do get some dialogue trees, but in all honesty, they don't make much difference. She can't remember who she is, blah, 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 blah. She's seen no Spaniards. The Spaniard is searching for his wife. Rightio, jolly good. This will lead you to areas of interest. You will find different locations in the normal world versus the other world, so be sure to listen to both. Which Not really much use inside this. The listening thing is more useful in the other world, which is where we shall go now. We looked at that one. I keep hearing a whistling sound. That usually means there's something to find. Right, there's something over there we need to go and investigate. So yeah, it tries to do a fair bit, does Betrayer. And all in all, it does a fair enough job. If I had my biggest criticism, really, it just does get a bit samey. It's not an open world game. It's you go into an area, which then you can sort of fairly much tackle in any order you want. And when you've completed and found everything, then you can go to the next area. I'm not doing very good with my shooting at the moment. He's doing better with his. You're supposed to, if you can stealth up on them, you can damage them. You get a bonus to damage. And those we head in. Over here, somewhere very close. Ah, that's something we're after. So we're clearing the corruption, as well as solving the ghost mysteries. What's that? Maybe that's something I can only find in... Oh, no, there we are. There's a clue. Why has Lord Governor ordered us to collect valuables and shiny trinkets to hide in the woods away from our settlements? What purpose can such measures serve? But to deject a populace already forlorn from hunger, sickness and constant harassments by Spanish attack. So yeah, it's a decent story. So it kind of tries to set itself as a horror. I wouldn't... It's right over there, whatever we need next. I wouldn't sort of say it's much in the way of horror as such. The story, I suppose, has horror elements. It's fairly well done. All in all. So, you know, controls are smooth enough. There's the sort of in-game economies you see with the buying stuff. As you get weapons and things off enemies, you can flog them on, collect loot from all these different treasure chests and things. And you get better weapons as you go through the game, more powerful ones. Of course, it's your oldie weapons, so you've got what you'd expect, your muskets, those kind of things, bows and arrows, crossbows. Probably want to go round this fort. I don't think there's a view. Oh, yeah. But yeah, so as we roll into a new year, another new year, I hope this one's going to be better than last as far as game content at least went. Very disappointing was 2018. I think I only bought about 5 or 6 new games. I only did about two videos of those. To be honest with you, I think it's doing these past blasts. It's kind of making me realise as I play more, replay a lot of the older games, how far some things are going backwards. Edmund Piercy killed fighting the Spanish. Nathan Lambton murdered by a Spaniard. Matthew Helyard, ship's boy, aged 12, found dead along the path. Edward Barnes, aged 6, a sweet and gentle son, died of sickness. Here lies Mary Barnes, aged 24, loving wife and mother, died of sickness. That's somewhat close by. Haven't seen any of the ethereal enemies yet. Oh, there we go. Oh, as far as it... Oh, they saw me again already. I don't recall their pickup being that good, but... yeah, I suppose the other the other problem, I mean, you're supposed to use your stealth elements at this early game, but by the time you get a few decent weapons under your belt later on and a few better trinkets, you do become a bit of a Terminator when it comes to putting an end to the spookies and the Spaniards that we saw in the other realm. So yes, hopefully 2019 will see some games of some decent. Sorry, pissed me right here. The sword rocket. It will take more than a trowel to dig it up. So see, there's a bit of backtracking involved in this game. So when I get the shovel or whatever, the next upgrade, and I'll come back. Oh, a couple of things close by. Oh, he's the closest, so we'll go to. Oh, it's one of these that needs clearing. Right, that's when it's calling in some enemies. Let's try and. Oh, he saw me as well, did he? Oh, what, really? I thought. Oh, that didn't go very well. We'll probably get around to concluding our dealings anyway around here, gang, so I'm going to get a few more arrows because I think they're still early game. The arrows are free. There's the arrows. Oh, maybe they're not then. Huh. Well, I'm going to need a couple anyway. So yes, Betrayer. All in all, a decent enough effort. Tries to do a fair bit. Reginald Moylett, a true gentleman. And overall, it's a pretty decent experience. It's not the greatest game in the world, but overall, with the story, the different zones, there are slightly more challenging enemies as you go through. So it tries to throw a bit of stealth, a bit of economy in there, with a slight bit of upgrading, and lots of digging around looking for things. Oh, I wasn't expecting him. But all in all, because it's quite cheap nowadays, it's only £4 when it's not on a sale. Right, so I'm going to try and stealth up towards this one. Oh, no, it saw me. I don't recall him having that sort of detection range. Oh, there's a second one. Wow! Well, that went a bit. So it's definitely a challenging earlier game. But, yeah, by the time you get sort of mid-game through, and you've got a few sort of better muskets to your name, it's perhaps becomes a bit. It goes the other way. You don't need to worry about stealthing in. You can pretty much just churn through terminating everything. But yeah, we'll conclude our dealings here anyway, gang. This was Betrayer. And all in all, a decent enough action adventure with horror elements. Definitely does a fairly decent job of the atmosphere, but yeah, it just does, by the time you get towards the last couple of zones, feel a bit samey. You do the same thing in each zone, really. Just sometimes slightly different enemy types. So anyway, again, I hope you've enjoyed the video or found it entertaining in some way. Thanks for taking the time to watch it. As ever, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to let me know you're alive. I shall see you all next time. Bye for now.